Hi everyone! Today I'm going to read a favorite book from my childhood. I have many favorite books from my childhood, but today I'm going to read The Cabin Key by Gloria Rand, illustrated by Ted Rand. There it is! There's our mountain cabin, my favorite place in the whole world. While Mom and Dad start to unload the car, I get to unlock the cabin door. Dad just gave me the key. Our family has come to this log cabin for years and years. First my great-grandparents, then my grandparents, then Mom and Dad, and now me. Even if I shut my eyes, I know I'm at the cabin. It smells so good, so woodsy, like inside a hollow stump. In winter, snow piles up to the roof, and sometimes we have to dig our way to the door. In spring, wild Johnny jump-ups bloom by the porch, and in summer, all the nearby bushes are loaded with huckleberries. In fall, the vine maple leaves turn bright autumn colors. The yellow ones look like sunshine in the woods, even on rainy days. It's a little dark in here, but when Mom pulls back the curtains, the light will be just right. It's a little cold, too, because it's winter, but as soon as Dad gets the wood stove going and logs burning in the fireplace, we'll all be toasty warm. Dad says our cabin is too full of everything, but it's all stuff we want to keep forever. The ox yoke hanging above the fireplace is from pioneer days. My great-grandfather found it on an abandoned farm. The snowshoes were worn by my great-great-uncle when he went fur trapping in the Yukon. My grandfather painted all the paintings during a war when he was out in the South Pacific Ocean. The Navajo rug, the tapa cloth, and all the toys have always been here. The cabin got electricity when Mom was about my age, but we don't use it much. We'd rather burn kerosene lamps like they did in the olden days. We use a carpet sweeper instead of a vacuum cleaner and keep food cold in an icebox instead of in a refrigerator. We don't have a bathroom inside, but that's okay. We have an outhouse around back. We don't have running water either. Dad says we do, though. When I run down to the creek and run back with buckets full, Mom fills basins for us to wash up in, and if we get really dirty, she heats water on top of the wood stove and fills a big tub for our baths. Bringing in water is one of the first things I do when we get to the cabin. I have to be careful, because if I hurry too fast down the creek bank, especially in the snow, I'll slip and slide right into the water. In summer, I like to go fishing in this creek. Dad says the fish are here all year, but I didn't see any today, not even one. Sometimes I see animal tracks in the snow. Cougars live around here, but I've only ever seen their footprints. Deer and elk aren't here now. They've moved down where the weather is warmer and food is easier to find. Bears are hibernating for the winter, but they'll be back after the snow melts. Once, many summers ago, my grandmother put a cooler of food in the creek because the icebox was full. During the night, a bear raided the cooler and got a dozen eggs, a pound of bacon, a pound of butter, and a big melon. The next day, all that was left was a ripped-up egg carton and shredded paper from the bacon and butter. I hope a bear doesn't come out of hibernation early and surprise me. I better get back to the cabin. This tree right here by our porch is my favorite. Years ago, Mom and my uncle used to climb it. Both of them were little then, and the tree was little too. They would go clear to the top and swing the whole thing back and forth. Now the tree is too tall for me to get near the top and too strong for me to swing. Maybe someday I can get my uncle to climb up there with me, and we could swing the tree back and forth together. Those two whistling birds high in the tree are nervy camp robbers. If I had some bread with me, they'd eat it out of my hands, or off the top of my head. I love to feed camp robbers. I'd love to feed an elk, too. Once, a long time ago, my uncle was at the cabin all alone. In the middle of the night, he heard heavy footsteps on the porch. When he opened the door, he was face to face with a big cow elk. Elk never come that close to people, so my uncle knew something must be wrong. He thought the elk might be starving. He fed her fresh vegetables, and she ate them all. Better get this water inside before it starts to freeze in the buckets. Maybe Mom will heat some and make me a big mug of hot chocolate. Then, before it gets too dark, Dad needs me to help him fill the woodshed. He chops the wood and I stack it. Mom wants me to look through our trunk full of decorations. We're coming back to the cabin for Christmas, and we have to be sure that the mice haven't gotten into the trunk and chewed up our old-fashioned ribbon-covered ornaments. We always hang these ornaments on the tree we put up in the cabin's front window. In the trunk, we have bunting and flags we fly off the porch on the 4th of July, too, and fold-out paper turkeys and pumpkins we put on our Thanksgiving table. Mom says that the best decoration the cabin ever had was years ago when there was a big snowfall on Christmas Eve. My grandfather built an igloo on the front porch and put lots of lighted candles inside. It looked like the biggest, most beautiful Christmas ornament ever. Dad fries steaks in a big heavy skillet right on the coals in the fireplace for our dinner. I love to hear the steaks sizzle in that real hot pan. While Mom heats canned spuds on the stove, I set the table with my great-grandmother's enameled tin dishes. Dad doesn't like the sound forks make on the metal plates, and Mom says the cup handles get too hot to hold, but I really like these dishes. They're old, 10 times older than I am. After dinner, we wind up our phonograph and play ancient records. A phonograph makes very good, scratchy sounding music. Dad reads to me too. There are the best stories in those books up on the little library shelf above the sofa. When it's time to get ready for bed, I put on my warmest pajamas, my robe, and my snow boots. Then, like I always do, I go out onto the porch, brush my teeth, and spit over the porch railing into the snow. Brr, it's cold out there. Feels good to get back inside. After I pick out which heavy quilt I want to sleep under, Mom and I make up my bed. I sleep by the window that looks toward the creek. As soon as all the lights are out and I'm snuggled in my bed, Mom tells scary stories. Sometimes they're about the mice that live in our cabin, but those stories don't scare me too much. I'm used to mice. At night, we hear them playing and scampering around for crumbs, running all over the place. If we forget to put cups over the spouts, they even get inside the big tea kettle or the old camp coffee pot and run around in there. Mom's telling a ghost story tonight, all about a ghost that's flying around in our rafters. I think I just saw it fly through those creepy shadows the dying fire is making on the ceiling. If I pull the quilt over my head and plug my ears with my fingers, I won't see or hear anything scary at all. I'll just cuddle down in my warm bed and think about when I'm old like Mom and Dad. I'll bring my own kids here. They'll get water from the creek, feed the camp robbers, stack wood, set the table with the tin dishes, and listen to stories. When they're big enough, they'll even unlock the cabin door with my cabin key.